Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations, and thank you for joining me today on this, which will be the very last live stream I do for 2023. It is the 31st of December here. It is the very last day of the year, and it will be 2024 tomorrow. So this will be the last stream, and I thank you for joining me today. I will say a quick hello to Jack68K, Thomas Armstrong, Quicksilver Oz, Thoughtful. That's a good way to be. Joe Williams, and I think that's it. Yeah. So, now, this is what I'm wearing at the moment, as ridiculous as they are. This is actually one of the little kits that I have done from China. And I have actually got a couple more of these to do. So I am actually going to do one of these on a live stream. It won't be today, but I did actually want to do one first so that when I actually come to do the thumbnail for the build, I would have one of these built to use in the thumbnail. So I have one built. They come in green, yellow, and red, and I bought one of each. So this is the green one, as you can tell, and I will probably do the red one for the live stream, or maybe the yellow one. Who knows? Hello, Joe. So anyhow, I can't actually see particularly well through these. I mean, I can see, but I don't. They're non-prescription, so I will probably need to get my prescription spectacles and put those on. Do a little swap over here. Here we go. Look at that magic. Anyhow, these are really these are good fun. I like them. I like them. So this is a little bit of a departure from my normal live streaming stuff. Well, hot here. Oh, is it hot? Where are you, Quicksilver? Because I tell you what, it ain't hot here. It's we've had some heat, but boy, look at this, 20 degrees C and drizzle. Oh, it's a day out there at the moment. Real dead loss, but anyhow. Yes, I don't expect today to be a massive viewing type live stream. It's, a lot of people have so much stuff on at this time of year, so I'm sort of expecting it will be a nice little cozy, friendly one. And I tell you what, if Jay from the House of Moth does not turn up, there will be hell to pay, because that guy has been nagging me to stream for days. And he's been nagging me to stream this. So this is, as I say, this is a departure from my normal stuff. I'm actually looking at a modern product, and it could end up being a complete and total waste of time. I may not even be able to get this friggin' thing open. I may not be able to get it open, and more importantly, when and if I do find a fault with it, I may not be able to repair it. When it comes to these modern boards for iPads, iPhones, even the MacBooks, MacBook Pros and stuff like that, and the MacBook Airs, when it comes to those sorts of products, the boards on them are blank. There's just components on there and there's no labels whatsoever. So you might have a little component sitting there and it's hard to even tell what it is. And if it's busted, you've got no way of knowing what it was supposed to be. If it's a capacitor that's blown, and so what you need in order to do effective repairs on these sorts of things is you need to have either a second board you can take components from, so you can look at that and go, oh, that's stuffed, so I'll just take the same one from the same place on the other board, so you have like a donor board. Or you need to have a board view and a schematic. So the board view is like a little CAD drawing of the board, which helps you locate the component, and then it will tell you what the label is. So you can say, you can locate a component and go, it's that one. You click on it, it'll come up and say that's C23. Then you can go across to the schematic, you can look up what C23 is, and then you can potentially replace it. It might be like a 0.1 microfarad capacitor or something like that. Now, I don't have those. I don't have a board view. I don't have a schematic for this particular product. So unless it is something that I can repair without having to replace the components, or if the components do need to be replaced, I can still measure what the old ones are, I may not actually be able to repair it. But I had this from one of my very good clients, someone that I do like development for, web development for, and he said, I've got a liquid damaged iPad, can I send it to you? And I said, well, I can't make any promises, but I'm happy to have a look at it. So, okay. I'm just going to have a quick look here. Back to the Future dot glasses, yes. Channel your inner Lewis Rossman. Yeah, God, mind you, not even Lewis Rossman channels his Lewis Rossman anymore. Have anyone watched any of his streams lately? Doesn't do a lot of repairs anymore. Is that Tech Cathy? Finally, I get to see a stream live. Well, Excellent. I'm very glad that's the case. What part of the world are you from, Kathy? And like as in time zone sort of situation. Massive storms and heat wave. Woo. So, hang on, so Brisbane. Yeah. Brisbane, look, Queensland has just been copping the worst weather. I mean, we've been watching it on the news down here. It's just unbelievable. Just getting battered by storms constantly. So for people who aren't aware of the Australian sort of geography particularly well, if you're looking at a map of Australia, I live in New South Wales, which is on the eastern side, and it's and I'm in Sydney, which is right down sort of the bottom of New South Wales on the eastern side, and then Queensland is the one that's above it, and it's the one that has the point at the top. Queensland is the second biggest state, I think, by area, the largest being Western Australia, and because Queensland is a lot further up, it's the weather there is a lot more tropical, so it's quite common during summer for them to get very hot, very wet, very humid. So there. UK, okay, so that means I'm just sort of thinking about it means it must be quite early in the day over there, if I'm correct. Francois, hello there. Plop. Fair enough. So now, right. So I've got to get this open. Now, once upon a time with these, it wasn't that difficult. What you could do is you could kind of just, I think you undid a couple of screws at the bottom or something like that. Then you'd heat them up a little bit because there's some sticky stuff, and then you open up. Well, no screws anymore. None screws. These are all just held together with glue or adhesive strips. Now this has this really nice little keyboard attached to it. See how cute that is? Love it. It's got a nice action and everything. It's better than my bloody butterfly keyboard on my MacBook Pro. And I've already put some cat fur on the screen because that's what you get in our house because we have 4 cats. So anyhow, this has got this, and then this attaches on here, and of course I'll show you something very quickly. If I just pop onto the top view here, you'll get to see just how messy my desk is. There we go. Now, if I just whip this off, this is held on with magnets, I believe. Off. There we go. I just want to show you something which is a real warning sign. So these have these little contacts here. These contacts are what make contact with that keyboard. And see what we have here. They aren't meant to have that little white stuff around the outside. I'm worried that that's some sort of short circuit that's gone on with the liquid damage. So this is an iPad Pro 11. I think it's Series 3. Yeah, 2021 or something like that. I'm not really sure. And it is I guess that's space grey, isn't it? Yeah, so, and that's it. Now, what I can tell you about this, isn't that shiny? I think I might just zoom out a little bit here. There we go. That's a bit better. Now you can really see how messy the desk is. We'll get a little blue scuzzy there. I'm going to be doing some work with a very old Macintosh Quadra 605 with a 601 CPU upgrade. I'm going to be using that for part of this year's PowerPC Challenge. Just need to make mention of PowerPC Challenge. That's something from the MacYak gang, which is, of course, part of my other life. And Thomas B., Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well. So we have this PowerPC Challenge we do every year, and the goal of it is to try and do as much as you can on an old PowerPC Mac. Doesn't matter which one it is. It can be a 601, 603, 604, G3, G4, G5, whatever you like. Just needs to be a PowerPC. In the past, I've done my work in the PowerPC Challenge on a G5, dual 2 gigahertz G5 that's been upgraded to 8 gigabytes of RAM and has a Samsung SSD hard drive in it. But that sometimes feels a little bit like cheating because it's actually still a pretty powerful computer. I mean, I know it still doesn't compare to modern ones, but it's still got some grunt. You can still do quite a lot. You can do video editing and all sorts of stuff on it. So I sort of thought that was a little bit of a cheat. So I thought this year I'm going to go the other end of the scale, and I'm going to go with the slowest PowerPC I have. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that's a 6100, isn't it? And it's like, no. 6100 is the second slowest PowerPC I have. The slowest one I have is my Quadra 605 with a 601 CPU upgrade in it. And I just thought that might be a little bit of fun to try and do a few of the little challenges for the PowerPC Challenge. Okay, Greybush, hello there. Mactive Lawn Care. Mactive Lawn Care. That's Macca. Is that Macca? Is that you, Macca? Mactive Lawn Care? Is that my mate Macca? In Australia, anyone that has like Mac as part of their beginning of their surname, they're Macca. So there's like about, like 8 million Maccas in Australia, that sort of thing. Isn't the 6200 technically supposed to be better? So is the 6200 worse than the 6100? It could be. I'm not sure. To be honest, that was a particular period in Macintosh history where I wasn't really using them. I was using Macs, but I went from, I think I went from 68K Macs straight up to like 603s or something like that, I think. It is. Okay, well, there you go. Macca. That's my friend Macca. Someone I have known for many, many years, probably more than we would want to honestly admit, because it'll show just how bloody old we are. But, yeah, so this isn't my normal stream, by the way, Macca, just letting you know. This is me working on modern stuff. I'm normally working on the old stuff. But now, we've got to get this open. There are a few problems with opening these. One of the problems, namely, is you have all sorts of cables really, really close to the edges here. But in order for us to get this screen off, we've got to put things in the side to pry it up. And so you have to be super, super careful around the edges here that you don't damage something. Now, at the end of the day, this doesn't work. And if I break it more, it's not that bad, really. But I would like to at least, if I can't repair it, I don't want it to be because I broke it. Joe, hello there, Joe. And Obsidian Z on her, hello there. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. As I say, it is actually New Year's Eve here in Sydney, or in Australia, in this part of the world. And it is, what is it? Yeah, 1:45. So we've still got a little while to midnight, but yeah, we're planning a very, very quiet one this year. My wife and I had a little bit of a chat about it, and we were like, we don't really want that hassle of transport and stuff, and of course the other thing is that the alcohol is another big thing, and that is that sort of my wife is trying not to drink, and when you're having a New Year's Eve, especially here in Australia, drinking is the thing. This is just to give you a bit of a rough idea. Here in Australia, if you go somewhere and you don't drink, people just assume you're pregnant, even if you're a man. All right, now let me find out why I've only got one image happening on the screen here when I should have two. I should have a side image or something, or a microscope view. Is my microscope not working? I'll just test the microscope. Wait a sec. Oh, there's your answer, people. The microscope looks a lot like chickens. Let's see if we can fix that. It's not quite time for some wine yet, but it will be soon. There we go. Microscope. Hey, well, that's not the microscope. That's my top view. Hey, what's going on here? Scope view. No, that's okay. No, the scope's still not working, is it? Let's just see if we can sort that out. Scope camera. And that is, I'll just do that. And then I'll do that. There we go. We got there eventually, didn't we? Wonderful, wonderful. All right, back to top view. I've just wiggled the camera, that's why I'm knocked the screen down as well. I've got a monitor here that I'm using. My old monitor that I had in here broke, but I've got a monitor here that I'm using, and I used to use it up on a shelf, so I got rid of the stand for it, and I've got no freaking idea where the stand is. So I 3D printed a new stand for it, but the new stand kind of wobbles down a little bit. Right, so the first thing we've got to do with this, we've got to get some heat, and I'm going to do this like this. I'll do this before it gets hot, burn my fingers. I've got my hot air, rework station here, and it's got a little nozzle on it. Just, don't take this off very often, that's why it's so stiff. Right, so I'm going to do this, and then we're going to use the heat from this to try and heat the edges of this. Got to be careful, don't want to break anything, but ultimately we're just going to run this around the edges until we can feel that getting nice and toasty, and that's going to help that adhesive get a little sort of sticky and gooey, and then a lot easier to pull it apart. There's a specific tool that you're supposed to use when you're opening these things up, and that tool is kind of like a suction cup on either side, and then it's got a clamp, and so you can suction it, and then you can turn a little gear type thing, and it'll gradually separate it. I don't have one of those, so we won't be using one of them. I've just got good old-fashioned suction cups here, but never stopped me before. Shady robot, hello there. It's not a fun thing really working on iPads and iPhones. And of course, the way these are designed nowadays, everything's kind of paired to the hardware. So for example, with this front screen, if I were to break this and have to replace the front screen, the facial recognition won't work anymore. Because that facial recognition is part of that kind of security that's tied to the actual hardware. And that's kind of annoying. I find that sort of thing frustrating. It's getting warm. I'm just going to jump onto the iFixit guides. So obviously, I'm sure everyone here knows about the iFixit guides, but if you don't, iFixit guides, it's ifixit.com. And there are guides for opening a lot of these things, and they take you through where all the problem areas are and all that sort of stuff. So we're supposed to start at the bottom, so I should probably concentrate the heat here at the bottom for a little while. And you can actually write guides yourself, that is correct. And you know what, there's been a couple of times where I've wanted to do that, I just haven't really had the time, because I've got an absurdly high standard when it comes to writing guides. And I would want to get absolutely immaculately perfect photos and stuff like that. But I've thought about that for some of the vintage stuff, about ways of opening up all the really old things. It's getting pretty toasty. Let's just pop that there and see what happens. Now I'm going to bring up the iFixit guide. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Let's go to that, and we go iFixit. iFixit, not you. There we go. Oops, it's not right. iFixit, the free repair manual. Now, can I bring this up on? I've got a thing here that says web. Road. Okay, and now we should have sound again. Yes, we do have sound again. Sorry about that, people. Anyone who saw my last live stream will know that I had all sorts of drama with my audio, and so I had to set up a different audio setup. Anyhow, here we have now the web page on the screen, which is what we were aiming to do. So what I need to do is I need to do a search here for iPad Pro 11, and I think it's a Gen 3. Third gen, there we go. Is it updating? Yeah, it is updating. I'm just checking to make sure that you're seeing what I'm dishing out. There we go. Now, we need to go to, I'm going to select Logic Board because that's a full teardown. This refers to it as difficult 2 to 4 hours. Mind you, I cannot honestly say I have ever taken that long. I've never taken as long as they say for their guides. They're very, very conservative estimates with those. So what we're saying is this is what it looks like inside. And they're saying what we want to start. Oh, okay. So heat the right edge. So that I just heated the wrong edge. So we're going to heat the right edge. So there we go. We've got it that way. It's going to be there. Okay, cool. So we're going to heat this edge, and then we're going to start trying to squeeze it open. Now, this is the thing I was talking about that I do not have. I do not have one of these, and it would be a nice thing to have, and I think I might actually buy one day, because it does look a really nice purpose-built thing. I just wrestle with suction cups. I've got one suction cup here. I'm going to need two for this. Oh, here's the second one. So I just use these. I think these are actually iFixit suction cups, but yeah, I just use these ones. I'm pretty sure they came with iFixit. And as usual, they're a little bit melted because it's mine. Right, look, there's a bit of chat going on here. Charlie, hello there. Happy New Year to you. Retro Techie, hello. Steve is there. Hello there, Steve. How are you? I hope you are 2 to 4 hours. Yeah, no, definitely not going to be 2 to 4 hours. Better not be. God. I've got to get into the New Year's Eve mood. I've got to start, getting my party hat on and some sparklers and poppers and things. Teddy Bouchon. I apologise if I'm mispronouncing your surname. I massacre the pronunciation of a lot of people's names, and that's because I'm Australian. That's what we do. Hello. Thank you very much for that. Happy New Year's Eve, Steve. Went out to dinner last night with a good friend. Had some Lebanese food, and it was frickin' delicious. Gotta tell you, that was some yummy stuff. I walked away so bloody full. And a couple of bottles of wine as well, What you gonna do, huh? What you gonna do? It's that time of year. It's that time of year where we'll need to celebrate with wine. I am down under. I come from a land down under. Don't ask me for the lyrics, because I don't know. Australia. Like you can see up in the top left-hand corner there, Sydney, and you can even see current weather. Celebrate with more wine than usual. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, I tell you. Well, the biggest problem is, like yesterday, I went out to lunch. So I went out to a family lunch, and we had a lunch at a pub, and that was all lovely and everything. But I drank quite a bit of wine there, and so there I am. It's like 12:30 or something. I'm drinking a beer and some wine, and then I go out to dinner and I drink more wine. It's like that's what does it to me. It's those really long kind of, I did have a break between the two where I didn't drink, but I felt like when I had my first drink, like at the restaurant for dinner, that I just hadn't stopped, and it's like, I don't like that. I don't feel too crash hot when I do that. Much rather just save the drinking for night time. Or if I do have daytime drinking, that I have a nap. But, I'm not normally a daytime drinker, but it's just the time of year, All right, so it's saying, this is what it's saying. This is what this thing says. Okay, we get this, and we put it on the side. Yeah, okay. We're doing... Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, on the side. Good. And we've got to sort of prise it apart, and while potentially adding heat to it. Well, I'm just going to try, hey? What's the worst that can happen? I'll break it? Yeah, I really don't want to do that. Okay, so... Ooh, I can see the glass bending. It's definitely giving it a decent amount of pressure there. Where's the gap? I'll take it off and heat it some more. I did this to one of my own iPads, and it all worked beautifully. And then, so if I am going to break it, I will definitely break my someone else's. That's just how it works. An air sulfur distilling alcohol. I watched How to Solder, and I almost fixed my PS4 Pro, but now something different. Ripped my power thing off fixed but turned off after 3 minutes or so now. Oh, that's a pain. Yeah, I tell you, I did a repair the other day, and I ended up doing it so fast I didn't end up recording it or streaming it or anything, but I had someone who had torn off a USB-C socket from something. And so they turned up here and they were in a real pickle too, because it was the thing that they used to, it's like a point of sale type thing, so where they get card payments and stuff from their customers. And he's like just a little small businessman, you know, and so he hasn't been able to take card payments. And so when I repaired it and I told him, you know, it's all fixed, he was like, really? Can I come and get it now? And it's like 8 o'clock at night. I said, yeah, I'll just leave it in the letterbox and you can come and grab it. So I'm just going to go back and have a look at this web Rooney again. And where does it say? It says, okay, so it's saying that up this end here, we want to try and feed something in here. It's coming off! Yay! It's a beautiful day. I'm just got to get, here we are. I'm going to use a scalpel for this. Don't use a scalpel for this, okay? I really mean that. It's so easy to damage it. But I'm going to use it because I like using it. But it's not something I recommend, okay? Do as I say, don't do as I do. That's the whole thing, isn't it? So I'm just going to split that up there. And then I've got, you see that I have actually got my scalpel in the gap. Okay, now let's see. Intellivision. Oh, I remember the Intellivision. Remember that so well. What's with that pin header? Which pin header? Oh, this pin header? What is with this pin header? I don't know. It's left over from when I was building a Blue Scuzzy. But you know what? Pin header will go in here quite well. You reckon? It's a good little separator. There you go. Take the scalpel out. Right, I've got to put my my special glasses on because I'm at the point where I need to look at it closely. So you're going to be seeing my great big bald head. Sorry about that. Insert the tip of an opening pick. That's an opening pick. They use like little plectrums, like guitar picks, to open them. And I do have some picks floating around here. Here's one. Here's a pick. Pick. Here's another one. Pick. So I'm going to apply some more heat here. Okay, I'm just going to change back here because I was confusing myself. So when you're talking about Intellivision, you're talking about the old vintage game. Is that correct? Are we talking about the same thing with Intellivision? So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just using the scalpel to cut the adhesive. It's scary. It's very scary to do. But once you have it cut, it stays open. So, and this is the way I do it. And I know it's not the way they say to do it, and maybe I should listen to them. But it's just always worked for me. And I've never broked anything from it. So I just have to consider that they're wrong and I'm right. Okay, so they're saying... We going along, yes. Okay, now it's saying top edge. We're going top edge now. That is up here. So let's heat the top edge. God, it's got magnets all over it. Pedro147. I never knew that you did iPads. I do them for special customers. Most of the time, when I'm doing these, what I'm doing is replacing cracked screens. This is an unusual one in that it's a liquid damage one, and I don't know what to expect. Now, what I can tell you about this is it does charge. So if I plug it into the power, it's actually drawing power. So it is charging the battery. So we know that some part of it is definitely working, but it doesn't switch on. And as I was saying at the beginning of the live stream, the biggest problem that I have is that I don't have board views or schematics for this. So if there is a damaged component, I won't be able to identify what it is and then replace it unless I get hold of another board. I don't know what the availability is on these. When I used to repair the old Mac laptops, that you could basically just buy broken boards, and you just buy heaps of them, and buy 4 or 5 of them at a time. They were dirt cheap, and they would have a hole drilled in them so that you couldn't use them for anything else. But you could raid them for parts, and they were fantastic for that. But I don't know if you can do that with iPads. As I say, you certainly can with the old Macs, but not sure about the iPads. Okay, let's see if we can get the corner. It's looking good. Looking good. Oh, I just broke it. I just cracked the screen. Look at that. So it is now the removal of a cracked screen rather than just the removal of a screen. Anus. This is going to be a nightmare to get off now, because once I've got a crack in them, they're a real biatch. Okay. Jeez, it was on the corner. You know what I should have done with the benefit of hindsight? I should have started in the middle here and worked my way out to the edges rather than trying to curl the way around the edge there. Now I know. Well, the risk was always there. I have to accept that. I thought I was doing so frickin' well too. Poo-poo head. Where's my other suction cup gone? I need 2. I've lost the other one. Hello? I've fallen on the ground. Essentially, everything ends up on the ground in this workshop. Zanov bitch. I mean, look, you know, as I say, the biggest issue with these is the face. If you do replace the screen, you lose the face thing. It's actually stuck to the screen. That's where the other thing is. It's still stuck to the screen. I'm searching for something that's actually here, still stuck to the screen. So yeah, I know it's the digitizer glass, but isn't that now on these things, isn't it joined? I think it's now joined, you know, that you're... I think the digitizer is actually attached to the glass now. I think, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to turn off on the AC here. It's so steamy. It's not actually hot, but it is steamy because we've had so much rain. So I've just got to think about the best way to do this now because of that cracked part. I'm going to have the complication now of any tension, any pressure that gets put on this is just going to cause it to crack even further. Those little headers actually make quite good spaces. And grab some more. Hello, Jeremy. This is not making me try to open up an iPad. No. Yeah, I'm searching for the Command Z button right now. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, we still have to get it open, and we'll work out whether it's, you know, what the next step is going to be. And I'm going to apply some heat here. Yeah, oh, look, seriously, I've had many times on my live streams where my Mac friends end up taking the little piece out of the video and sending it to me, you know, when something happens, something blows up, or there's a weird sound, or I sneeze, or something like that. And so I get to watch all of those choice moments, usually thanks to Jay from the House of Both, who's not here, by the way, which is a disgrace. He should be ashamed of himself. So I'll say to my client, how important is that glass on the front to you? I have to find a way of getting this bit up, the cracked bit, if I can. Hey. Because there's a point where it actually cracks here. I can lift that bit up, but the part on the other side just doesn't want to lift up. I might have to do the other side and do it against what they say to do. I'll do this side. I'll do the bottom. Yeah, I don't know if that stuff would, if IPA would do anything to the glue. It's possible. Getting these screens off is a piece of cake as long as you don't crack the screen. Hello there to SMA Sky, or is it Smars Sky, or is it dollar? Is that a dollar sign? No, it's an S. Yeah, it is an S. Sorry, having trouble seeing it. Orange Pie 03. Using rubbing alcohol to release glue. Does that work for these? Maybe. I've had some phone repairs and iPad repairs that go really, really easily, and then I've had some that have been a complete nightmare. You know, case in point, just looking to see if I can get a little sort of opening here anywhere, maybe on this edge. Oh yeah, that looks like that's almost. This side maybe? Ouch. Yeah. Come on. These suction cups are actually quite good. They do stick very well. I mean, I kind of want to work my way around that edge, but that's how I came unstuck last time. trying, keep trying, keep trying. SMA or SMAS. 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 Time to get out my nuclear hot plate. So anyone doesn't know anything about the nuclear hot plate, I bought a one of those sort of board heater type things, preheaters, where it's basically a hot plate and you stick a PCB on top of it and it generates a huge amount of heat, and then you can melt the components and then remove them without it. You know, it's a lot easier than trying to remove them with a hot air station or something like that. If you're having to remove, in particular, things like DIP. CPU, like chips, DIP ICs, DIP integrated circuits, or RAM slots. It works really well. But I got one, and it turned out to be a 120 volt one or 110 volt one, not a 240 volt one, and we use 240 volts here. It uses way too much power to use one of those step-down transformers. It just makes it go pop every time you plug it in. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can convert this to 240 volts. So I went out and got a transformer, different transformer, and replace the original transformer, and it works. It does work, but it consumes like about 4,000 amps when it's running, and has a tendency to kind of trip the circuit breaker when I switch it on. So should we try and break this side too? It was right at this spot on the other side where it cracked before. So it does make me very wary. It's amazing the way it just sort of, it released at this location here really well. It's almost like there's not as much adhesive at that spot. But it hasn't done that anywhere else. It was a fun stream when I showed that off, yeah. I don't fire it up very often. I'm just terrified of it. I have to go and switch all my servers back on again, you know, for trip the power. What do I do? I mean, do I even bother being careful and just say, stuff it, I'll just go crack it everywhere? Oh, my other little headers fell out. Don't want that. Stay there. Don't vex me. I mean, the struggle that I am having with every other side other than that first side. Hey, Michael, how's it going? I'm just breaking an iPad. Seemed like a good day for it. I really don't think I've got much choice than work my way around from that edge along, but there's just the danger I have is that I will crack it here as well. Does make me want one of those little clampy things that I was referring to before on the iFixit website. this glass always feels so kind of strong right up until the point where it snaps. You think, oh man, this glass can take some real bending. Wow, that's amazing. Look how far I can bend it. Snap. Oh. Shove bread inside. Yeah, I should do that. I should do that. You know, I'll put expanding foam inside, and then as the foam expands, I'll just push it apart. You reckon that's got to be a winner? Boo, 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 boo. Looking good. I don't want to get too complacent, but I've definitely got some separation there. I'll stick some more headers inside. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. You're probably not supposed to use metal to separate these, you know, probably for creating short circuits and stuff. So, once again, don't do as I do. Yeah, there are particular types of hot plates you can use for these. Jay from the House of Moth actually did a review of one. Yes, he used to do videos. People may or may not remember that. He got hold of a hot plate, you know, one of these heating things. It's designed for doing this sort of work because it doesn't get up to the obscene temperatures that my other one does. My other one gets to the temperature where it actually melts solder. There's those other ones, you can set them at a temperature that's just designed to make these glues go tacky. And I have to be honest, I really should have bought one by now, but I stopped doing work on iPads and iPhones and stuff, so I sort of thought, I don't need this. I was only really working on the vintage Macs. I stopped doing the modern stuff, so... Oh. Yeah, it would be nice if people made things easy to repair. You got to remember that Apple's justification for this is not that they're trying to make things hard to repair. Their justification is that it's all about miniaturization and making things lighter and all that sort of crap. And so you kind of that will always be their excuse for the way they build these things. Got a Green Day song in my head at the moment. Don't ask me why, but I do. It's better than having Africa by Toto in your head. Once that's there, it stays. Bum 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 ba bum bum bum. Bum 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 ba bum bum bum. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more can ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. There we go. You've all got it now. Toto stream. Branca sings the greats. Can you think of anything worse? Probably not. Ow, this is hot. Oh, where'd I put the air? Where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? It can't be too far away. Did I lose it? Did I drop it? Did I break it? Why is it missing? How come? Why? Why? I'll get another one. I'll just keep getting them. Keep getting them until I stop losing them. Such a sad story about men at work. Yeah, it is a sad story. It was in particular the flautist, the guy who did the... So essentially, the person who wrote a song called what is it? Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree, which Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree, took them to court and said that they had stolen that little riff from his song, and they ended up losing. And so, and the guy who played the flute ended up, I think, committing suicide, which was very sad. Enzo is here. Hello there. We've got a lot of Joes here today. ET Mods, hello there. Overkill by Men at Work. With By Men at Work, well, yeah, Overkill is a great song. I've heard Colin Hay perform that solo. It's a great song. I also like Who Can It Be Now. That's a fun song. Well, it's not fun, but it's a good song. But Overkill's an amazing song. That is, you know, really nice bit of sort of writing in that one. How hot? I'm going to put some isopropyl alcohol on this thingy here. Oh, it fell down. Something fell down. I think it was my glasses or something. Right, I've just got to get some... Oh, this is getting a little bit empty. There we go, got some alcohol. What did fall down? Because whatever fell down, they're gone. Something fell down, and I'm telling you. No, there are my glasses up there. My glasses are the most important thing, so that's all I really care about. This is going so well around these corners. If I just hadn't rooted it on that other corner, we'd be fine. We'd be saying, my God, this is a successful screen removal. That's what we'd be saying. But instead, we're saying, Bruce cracked the screen. What a dick. Oop. Oh, that fell out. There we go. This is kind of getting more and more complicated as we go, but, you know. Boo, boo, boo. Oh, actually, I'm going to apply some heat here. Yes, I'm going to start dipping the scalpel in iso alcohol to, who's that? Danielle Silvaggi, I'm not sure. I am going to try, and yeah, I'm going to dip the scalpel into the alcohol and see if it'll, as I go through, help with the cutting of the adhesive. Okay, Make Vintage. Hello, Will. How are you? So what do people have planned for old New Year's Eve in your part of the world? Are you guys going to a party, or you staying home? You gonna get drunk? Gonna stay sober? Gonna eat fancy food? I definitely feel like the alcohol is helping, so to all the people that have been suggesting that to me throughout the whole thing, thank you. I'm sorry I took so long to actually listen to your advice. I've lost another one of these bloody headers. What are they? Do they just keep falling on the floor or something? I don't know. I don't know. Hit the RSL. Good on you. Saying hi with the Max, they need me. Enjoy some spirits and chat on here. Yep, that's the way to go. Only in moderation. Enjoy alcohol in moderation. Shut up. Okay, so this is the really complicated part because we do actually have a crack here. But I do think, and there is something, look, I'm going to have to play this video back and find out who keeps stealing my bloody headers. Is it those fairies, those little capacitor fairies? Okay, so that's sitting there right on a crack. That little one there, there's a crack right down there. But I do think I can now get around to this corner so that I can get the rest of this side off. Could be the borrowers. Just finished a classic reloaded from Kai Robinson board. Awesome. Yes, I built 2 of those. I think I've only built 2 of those. The thing is, the first one I built was a prototype board and had all sorts of things wrong with it. So it works, it's all fully functional, but I had to draw a whole bunch of wire. I had to drill some holes in it, and I had to draw some wires because the board wasn't quite right. And then the second one I built, I think it was mostly right. I had to do one little patch or something like that. I haven't actually built one since they've been you know, 100% right. I've only built the prototype ones. And to be honest, I'm starting to run out of bits. I would have to actually start rating them off good boards. And I don't particularly want to do that. But they're a lot of fun. I mean, you know, if you like me and you like doing surface mount soldering, doing that sort of stuff is great fun. This is like I was mentioning the other day, building... where is it? It's here somewhere. It was here. Building one of these, which is the blue SCSI. And I have to say, building this with all these surface mount components is really fun. I really enjoyed it. If that's what you like doing. If you don't like doing it, you're going to hate it. But, yeah, I really enjoy it. Yep, that iso alcohol on the blade here really does help. Oh, you cheated on the bird seed. No way, Jose. Cheated on the bird seed. You know, I thought this screen was going to go all sort of wacky. You know, I thought it was just going to keep cracking and cracking and cracking, and it hasn't. It's just stayed that one crack the whole time. It's enough, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Ah, 2CI related board. How good's that? I think I've got a good candidate for that. I've got a battery bomb 2CI board floating around somewhere. Okay. So we've worked our way around the whole thing. So now it's just comes down to that last little bit of opening. Someone needs to develop, actually, why am I saying someone? I am going to make a thing, like 3D printed thing, something like one of these opening picks. But, oh, they've already done that. Make it so that it only goes in a certain distance. They've already done that. Oh, wow, their tool does that already. Cool, my invention. Someone else stole it. Just because they stole it before me doesn't count. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so we've done all this, done all this. Step 13, step 14, step 15, step 16, step 17, step 18, step 19, step 20, separate left, step 21. We've got through a lot of steps here. Separate the screen from the frame. At this point, you've separated most of the screen adhesive. Lift the edges of the screen up slightly to check if there are any remaining adhesive. Use an opening pick to Where are the cables? Oh, okay. So it's saying lift it up. Where's the bottom? Lift it up. And up. Icky. Shift the screen towards the bottom right. How good would this have been if I'd have done this without cracking it? This would have been a moment that I could really savour. I could be like, yay! But instead I'm going, shit. Maybe they don't mind the crack. Yeah? Maybe they'll be like, yeah, no, we were always looking for a crack in this screen. You helped us out. Because another really bad part of these. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I was suspecting. All right, now let me just... We've got to do this, and then we have to undo some stuff. Oopsie. That's the top. So we've got to do this, and we've got to undo this. Oh, better get a container to stick all the bits in, hadn't I? Golly. That's an important part. Do any of these have space in them? That one's got a row. I can use a row in that. Oh, that one's got a row. No, it's got half a row. I'll use this one. I think a row will be enough, so I can just use a row. This is my little container here. I'll just use a row there. So, and this can also keep track. Of course, I'm going to keep track of each screw. What a dumb thing to say. Use a pair of tweezers. Okay, one 1.3mm screw and one 2mm screw, and they are just Phillips head. What am I going to use for that? I've got a little tiny. Is that a? Yeah, that's it. Phillips 00. Beep. Beep. Okay. Is that what I'm doing? It doesn't seem right. Am I on the wrong? I think I've got a different model to the instructions I'm looking at here, because that's talking about this just coming off as a single piece, and yet it looks like it's. Oh no, it is a single piece. I'm full of horseradish. And then we're going to pop that up. Here we go. And let's do the other side. And yes, I've already done that. Now we're up to step 27. Reposition the screen. Fold it open like a book. Fold it open like a book. Okay. I've done that. So hang on, I've just seen chat behind my web page here, and someone has said getting the glass separator from the LCD might need one of those heat. Okay, so you reckon that I can separate this LCD from that glass on the front? That looks like a dog of a job. Poopy. I mean, I guess if they make it, it's possible, but I'll give it a try, I suppose. I mean, you know, I'd like to fix it. Oh, wow. Talk about liquid damage. There's actually water. There's just here. I'll move my head out of the way, my big fat head out of the way. You can actually see liquid here. All right, so let's get this off. It's definitely wet. If you know this, but you can just throw that thing in a bag of rice and Bob's your uncle. The old rice-a-riso thingy, yep. Yep, we all know, yeah, it's become quite a joke now, hasn't it? Okay, so, let's have a look. Cancel. Okay. So now it's saying, follow open like a book, lay the screen down and lift it, unfasten the lower cable shield. That's this thing. We have 4, or is it 5? 5 screws to take out. Of course, I'm not going to worry about repairing the screen if I can't repair the frickin' iPad. And there is always a good chance of that. Cut my nails the other day. I timed that badly, didn't I? Nails are good for this. Hey, there we go. So, I managed to not tear any cables, so that's nice. But I did manage to crack the screen. Let's not forget that I cracked the fucking screen. Okay, I'm just going to pop that over there. Nice and safe. It's not safe at all. It's teetering rather precariously, but that's all right. Right, so, okay, we're step 28 we are. Come on, come on. Why is my scroll wheel not working? It's not scrolling. Okay, remove the shield, done that. Oh, what did it say I should do? Undo that. Oh, that's the battery connector. That's the battery connector. We should always disconnect the battery connector because... Does anyone know the answer to that? So that we don't accidentally short circuit. Let's just see how that smudges out. I don't know why, but the scroll wheel is not working on my freaking thing anymore. Oh no, it's actually saying... Remove the... Okay, cool. But this is bizarre. Use the pointed end of a sponge to pry up the disconnected play cables. Da-da-da. Remove the screen. Done that. Okay. Disconnect use. Okay, so they've just shoved some things under here to break connection with the battery. But they didn't describe that process. Unless they did and I just didn't read it. That's always possible. Yeah, the instructions say don't crack the screen. Stupid instructions. See, they've just snuck something underneath here. I don't even know what they put there. They're just... It just says... Follow this guide to install pre-cut adhesive strips on your... Oh, no, that's not it. Nope. If you plan to reinstall the existing screen... Well, no, I won't because I screwed it. Disconnect this... Okay. Use the pointer... No. I'm just going to connect the logic port. Yeah, no. So we literally go from step 30 to step 31... And it's suddenly at step 31, they've got little pieces of plastic separating the little power connectors, so I guess to break the connection. I don't know why I can't lift it up. I just don't know enough about it. But we'll do our best not to break it any further. Mind you, it is already broken. I have to keep reminding myself, this is broken. So, you know, as I mentioned before, this is a liquid damage thing, and you can clearly see here this has had quite a lot of liquid in it. I guess that's the battery, and that's the logic board, so, or motherboard, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm guessing that it's soaked underneath that. Nope. Nope. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep on keeping on. If it didn't tell me I'm supposed to stick little separators into that battery thing, I'm not going to do it because it didn't tell me. All right. So unfasten the USB-C port. God, that's a bit of a thing. How many bloody sections am I going to need for this? I may end up having to get another container. Alright. Remove USB port grounding contacts. I'm really missing my scroll wheel here. Okay. Why is my scroll wheel not working? Switch it off. Switch it on. Is it working in other places? Let's try over here. No, my scroll wheel seems to have just completely gone. It's like scroll wheel. No, you don't need a scroll wheel anymore. The liquid doesn't really seem sticky. I don't think it's Coke or something like that. I suspect it's water. Okay. Oh, I need to get back to my guide, don't I? I should have the guide up. You know what I should do? I'll go to the web. I'll have the guide up here. And then I'll add the video, video capture device. Add existing. Top camera. Okay. And then we'll shrink this down. Oh, how about we do it constrained? How do I constrain it? Oh, I had the shift key pressed, that's why. Whoa, too small. There we go. Put that here. Oh, we'll just leave it there actually. So there you go. You can actually see what I'm doing while I'm reading the guide. It's good compromise. And let's go down to... Okay, remove USB. Okay, so I have to remove the grounding. It says use tweezers for that. So... Come on, son of a bitch. Stupid. Stupid. Okay, and then remove USB-C port. Okay, let's remove the USB-C port. I'll do this with my nail, not with a metal thing, because I still do have the battery connected. Up. There we go. Easier said than done. It's bloody glued on. There we go. There's our... Oh, zeus. Let's just jump across to the scope view here for a second. Scope view. How we got that? That looks like liquid damage to me. So that's it's not the best. I mean, I think I could probably clean that up and get that working again. But, oh wow, look at that. That. My guess is the USB-C cable they had connected into this before probably has the same sort of damage. So, yeah, alrighty. Yeah, I think it is stuffed, but we'll continue until we know one way or the other. You know, a part of me wants it to be beyond repair, because then I won't feel as bad about cracking the screen. Alright, that's not the view I wanted. I wanted web. There we go. So let's go and have a look now at unfasten the top cable shield. That is Hoya. Now I am using, just so in case anyone's wanting to know, I am using iFixit screwdrivers here. I quite like them. When you buy the iFixit kits, most of the time what you end up doing is you end up buying a single handle and then a whole bunch of little bits that just slot in. I don't like those. So I've actually bought separate screwdrivers for all of my screwdrivers. They're all individual ones rather than just a single handle. So I'm just letting you know. A little window into my soul. Undo 3 screws. Bibbidi bibbidi bibbidi. Oh, the scroll wheel's suddenly working again. Oh, what? So, hang on. Apply a heated eye opener to the top cable shield for 1 minute. Soften the adhesive securing it to the logic board. You seriously? You seriously now? This thing's glued on? Is that what you're telling me? It is. It's glued on. I'm going to melt this son of a gun. It's amazing this has got 4 speakers in it, isn't it? Don't you reckon? I reckon it's amazing. Speaker, 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 speaker. Going to watch The Lord of the Rings tonight. My wife and I had sort of planned this for a while. We said, let's do a Lord of the Rings marathon sort of thing. And the idea was we were going to watch the first 2 in the lead up, and then we would watch the final one. We'd watch the final one on New Year's Eve, but we didn't get around to that. We've just been doing so much socialising lately, catching up with everyone, because I've had family here, and sort of my sister visiting from interstate, and my cousin visiting from across the ditch in New Zealand, yeah, just been doing social thing after social thing after social thing. God, get your hands off the glue apple. I'm sick of it. Screws and glue on this one. How dumb is that? I ask you. Alright, so we've removed a sticky thing. Step 42. Remove the top cable shield. Yeah, I just did that. Step 43. Disconnect the IR dot projector cable. That's this one. That's for the LiDAR, I assume. Son of a gun. There we go. I have that disconnected. Bing. What next? Disconnect the camera cables. Ping. Ping. Cables disconnected. Okay, unfasten the front camera assembly. Oh, you're joking, aren't you? What a pain in the bum. Okay, now these are different sorts of screws. What are they? T3. Let's see if we can find a T3 up here somewhere. What is that? That's a T something. T5, that's way too big. What's that one? That's a pentalobe. That's of no use to us at all. Pentalobe. I know I've got one, I just don't know where it is. Got that one. There's another bloody pentalobe. God, pentalobe's coming out of my ears. That's massive. It's not that. I don't know where they are. I might have to revert to using one of these. That might be it. It's not an iFixit, but it's definitely a Torx. Oh, piffle. That's one too big. Oh, hang on. What's that? Oh, jeez. I should have a system here, shouldn't I? I should have them all organised neatly, but I don't. and that's too small. We'll find it. Don't worry, people. We'll find it. Have a little faith in me. God, I keep going from too small to too big. That's so freaking close, that one. Might even be able to use that one. I feel like it's not quite right, but I think I'll get it out. Glad to see you didn't break the glass, except that I did. Broke the glass. Great big freaking crack. But on the bright side, I suspect this thing can't be repaired, so it really doesn't matter. This thing is showing signs of lots of liquid damage. So, use the pointed end of a spudger to pry up and loosen the front camera assy. Here she comes. There we go. Here's the assy. Disconnect the 5G wave antenna coaxial cables. Let's do that, shall we? God, look at them all. There's stacks of them. Okay, oh, I only need to do these two, apparently. Where are they? Where am I even? My God, these things are tiny. I'm not even sure where I am here. So that's the sticky bit. So it's here? What? Oh, I see. It's down the side. Okay, so there's speakers. This is messing with my head. I think what I have here is different to what they've got there. I really do. If I put it that way, they are meant to be here. There aren't any. This is a different model. Disconnect antenna cables. They must be antennas for something else, because I don't have these cables. These ones that you can see here, they're not on my board. They're just not there. It's just a blank space. It's a lie. Okay. Yes, okay. They're just not there. Just not there. Alright. Right. Unfasten the antenna cable bracket. No antenna. Maybe it's... I don't know. I don't know. It's just not there. I do have to undo that. Okay. And then we're going to undo that. This is definitely different. Definitely different. Differently different. We having fun yet? Is everyone having fun? Some weird noises coming from our backyard. I think someone might be doing some cleaning or something like that. Right, let's get here to the page that we're looking at, and we will scroll down, and then it's saying, okay, Slide an opening pick under the MO flex. Okay, mine's very different to this. Holy crap, how much more stuff am I going to have to undo? I'm running out of containers. I'm going to have to split it across containers. I don't like doing that, but it's what's going to happen. I've got containers full of stuff here, things that I've pulled apart. I will probably never put together again. So do I even need to keep these containers? That's the question. Oh, this one's got heaps of gaps in it. This is now my new favourite container. You can go there. You can go there. God, whatever I opened up with this is big. What is that? Some sort of... Oh, it's a camera, I think. Yeah. So I was working on an old digital camera of mine. And I managed to fire it up after I'd been working on it. I fired it up without reconnecting something, and that seemed to just completely and totally roger it. It wouldn't work after that. Alright, so I'm going to close up this container, and that's part 1. And now we're going to start part 2. And I've got lots of spots here, so we should be fine now. But I have got to do a lot of screws here. So I have got to undo all of these screws here. So there's like one here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more up here. And one more there. There we go. And then I assume this cover's going to have to come off. Remove the cover. Why isn't it coming off? Did I miss a screw? Oh no, it's coming off. Easy peasy. Right, done that. Remove camera shield. And then we're going to get all these little plugs off again. So we've got one plug here. I'm really regretting cutting my fingernails, because having a bit of fingernail would have been very useful for unplugging these things. Wide angle camera, done that. Disconnect the LiDAR sensor, done that. Only fold the cable enough to access the connector underneath. There's a connector underneath. Here we go. That's done too now. Great. Oh, there's 2 connectors underneath. There we go. You know, the most sort of the horrible thing about doing this sort of work is that you know that when you finished it, there's a whole reverse process. You've got to do the whole thing again in the opposite direction. I'm going to gently pry up and loosen the rear camera module. Oh, look at it. Look at that. Isn't that fancy? Look at it. Look at that. How's that for a thing? Bunch of cameras and lights and out of focusness. It's coming good. There we go. Look at that. There's a thing. There's a thing. It's amazing. Isn't technology incredible? Yes. Incredible. I can probably go into there. Okay. Back to the web. Yeah, I bet you Joe wouldn't have cracked the glass opening one of these up. You know, the thing that is most so frustrating about it is by the time I got to the end of the removal, I got the process so kind of so I don't know, refined, that I would not have cracked it. I would not have. Okay, logic board removal, it says. You're about to disconnect many connectors from the top and bottom of the logic board. During assembly, use these photos as a reference to ensure all cables are connected in the correct locations. Okay, let's go. Disconnect the top right speaker cables. Jeez, these look small. These look really small. Oh, wow. Look at that, 4 little speaker connectors. Don't pry against the short size of the connector. Ah, I just did it, okay? So calm down. I've already done that. Okay, disconnect the top microphone cable. Disconnect the top right cable. Disconnect the top interconnect board. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, here. Yep. Okay, I see it. Don't bend or reposition the interconnect board. It's stiff and will break if overbent. Don't want to break it. Disconnect the top up and down goes. Where are they? Yeah, I don't have any of those. So, disregard the aforementioned. Okay, not there. Peel back the top logic board shielding. Don't challenge me, I'll break it so bad. I was just chatting to my wife earlier today, and she was saying, I think, she's got an iPad mini, and she said, I dug out the iPad mini from the cupboard the other day, and I'm like, oh, yeah. She said, it uses the old connector, like the wide one, and like, oh, crap, your iPad is a lot older than I remember. And she's like, I really would like to have a working iPad again, and I'm like, I think we might have to buy you a new one. I've got a spare iPad Pro, the big one. It still works quite well, even though it's friggin' old. But I think it might be a bit too big. Okay. There we go. We're getting there. Disconnect the smart connector cable. I've not already done that. Okay. Is that it? No. No? This one. This is it. It's cool that someone knows what all of these do, isn't it? They'll be able to write them down and say, hey, this is the smart connector cable. Disconnect the bottom right speaker cables. Far out. Bing. Bing. Here I am doing this with bloody metal tweezers right next to all these little components. What a loser, man. Follow the procedure in step 65 to disconnect the bottom right speaker. Follow the procedure in step 65 to disconnect the bottom right speaker. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Disconnect the left cables. Here we are. Okay, speaker cable's undone. What would you charge someone for this? Gently pull the antenna cables away from the logic board. Yeah, I don't have those cables, so I don't have to do that. I don't have to do anything. This looks like it should come undone. Maybe not. Okay. Oh yeah, they've already undone that, so I must have missed a step. There we go. Don't bend it. Okay. So, using two of your fingers, peel back the logic board shielding to reveal the hidden press connectors. Shielding, what time is it? 3:11. Cool. So it's been taking me like an hour and a half or something just for the disassembly part. Whee! Okay, I'm just taking the whole shielding off. Oh, look at the next step. Do not remove all the shielding. No, it doesn't say that. It's okay. So I've got to do something here. Oh, look at that. More undoies. Step 80, can you believe that crap? Disconnect the microphone, I've done that. I apply isopropyl alcohol to the left edge of the board. Why? This, what? Rear camera glass, so you'll damage them. Oh, so this bloody board is glued in. Can you believe that crap? I'm sure you can believe that crap. Isopropyl alcohol. Where were they running it? I'm going to go back and have a look at the web again. They start from this end by the looks of it. Yeah. So he's actually lifting it from here. He's lifting it from here. That. God, I need a better spudger. This thing is shit. Like this thing. This thing's got a nice point on it. Okay, so the biggest trick I can see here is getting all this up and not ripping any of these connectors that are kind of hanging all over the place. How am I supposed to... What? Oh, they're still doing it, so you just bring the battery connector with it? Going this way. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, I'm sort of got to be careful here. I'm in the process of damaging a connector. And I haven't, but geez, if I was doing it any longer, I would have. I'll put some more isopropyl alcohol on there, I think. Luke F, hello there. What have you missed? Well, you've missed all sorts of stuff. You've missed me damaging the screen of this iPad. Nice big crack. You've missed me generally not having a particularly good time doing this. I would much rather work on something older. And everything's glued in. It's all glue nowadays. Gotta move that light. That light's not helping. There we go. Squishing the battery while I'm doing this. It's probably not recommended. It is gently lifting up. I mean, every time I pry it, I can just hear the sound of adhesive separating. It's sort of just like a sound, which is good, because that's what we want. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Scary sounds. Okay, let's just refer back to the instructions, because it might say, don't pry too far. Pry up the top right branch. Oh, okay, so there's all this crap, this whole section along here is part of the logic board. What a pain in the balls. Where do they pry it up from? They pry it up from there. Hello, Dana. Hello. How are you today? Happy New Year to you. I like New Year. It's cool. This is a cow of a job. Okay? Okay? Just so everyone knows. I can't even get anything under here. They're saying, oh yeah, pry it up. With what? With what, you son of a gun? Nothing freaking fits under there. I'm going to have to use my scalpel, and that's metal. We generally try not to do that when we're near the batteries. She's coming. She's coming. Here she comes. Here she comes. Okay, I've done that bit. Now what bit next? Bit. Okay, now it's saying coming from this side. Who glues in a logic board, for frick's sake? Apple does. Hey everyone. Got to read the chat. I got the logic board out. Yeah, that's probably some of the alcohol I put in there. Alright, so we know this has had liquid in it. I'm just having an inspectoruni today through there. It's got magnets all over the bottom of them. Things stick to it. It's a real pain. Okay, right, okay. We got Enzo, hello, yes, okay. Cosmic Dust, hello. Yeah. No lithium battery fires, no. I've never had one, to be honest. I've never actually ended up with that particular issue. Ever. Well, I've got the board out. It's one-sided. It's a one-sided board. Well, I mean, we know it's going to have multiple layers inside, but isn't that bizarre? Let's try not to break that bit that I was bending really, really hard before. Right. Well, I've got this horrible feeling, you know, like the sort of feeling that you have that it's not good. I've got this horrible feeling that this problem might all be related to that USB-C connector and it not getting power to where it needs or something like that. This belongs to one of my best clients. Probably not going to be my best client anymore, but that's you know. Let's jump across now onto the scope view and we'll see what we can see. We're going to be looking for anything that might be, you know, corroded or green or anything like that. I need to swap my spectacles for that. I need my ones that I can see on the microscope with. So let's get some focus for you guys. That looks pretty focusy. And I'll make sure I can see as well. Here we go. Alright. So, nothing on the underside of this board, but we do have things on this side. Now we're looking for... Oh, and there's some shit underneath this as well. There's all this sticky stuff you can see. I can actually see a component in here. You can see there. So there's probably some components underneath this. Doesn't actually look like the water's gone here though, but probably not a bad idea to lift her up and have a look inside her runny tootie there. Oh, frangipani. I'm putting all this sticky crap on here. And this is like after Johnny Ives left. I can't even blame all this on Johnny Ive. I can blame Tim Cook, I suppose. Doesn't have much to do with the design though, does he? Okay, that's the board number there, 820027009A. So if I was looking for a donor board, that's the search term I would be using. Now, none of this looks like it's had any liquid exposure, so I'm going to put this back and pretend that I never removed it. Did you take that off? No, it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. It was someone else. Made a mess of it, didn't I? Wasn't me. Absolutely wasn't me. Continuation of Johnny Ive's philosophy. There you go. Apple's still using the same part number format all these years later. That's right. You go right back. If you go right back, they all started with, what was it, 820? They're more digits now. They didn't have as many digits on the back, but yeah. Right. So I'm looking for anything that looks like... I mean, it's pretty well protected in here because of that coating and everything. It's a nice bit of heat shield there, isn't it? Squishy heat shield. Squishy. What's under that? Is that our CPU? Oh, look at that. It's got an Apple logo on it. It's not surprising that it has an Apple logo on it, but that must be... like, you reckon that's one of their main chips, or is that the main chip? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's clearly important. So we've got this. And that's going to be the storage there, I dare say. It's going to be like RAM or something. I'm guessing. Confessing, I'm guessing. See, all of this stuff is... So there's even some conformal coating here. So far, there's only one thing I've seen on this that looks like it's suffered liquid damage. What's that? Looks like some charring or something. Where was that? It was here. Oh, that's around the speaker. Can't imagine there would have been any issue there. So I've had water here. I've got this horrible feeling at the moment that there's absolutely nothing wrong with this board, and it's simply that we weren't getting power to the... it wasn't charging properly. I think the fault may actually be here somewhere. Where are we? That's the bottom. That's our USB-C. Just looking for stuff around here that might be bad. Dogs are bad, okay? Amazing little speakers in these things. Astonishing technology. There's, apparent water damage there. That's where a SIM card would go. This one doesn't have a SIM card in it. Oh, what's that? I think it's okay. That's probably just where I scraped it when I was opening it. Ultrasonic can replace the USB flex connector. Yeah. I mean, the more I fiddle around with this, I mean, I couldn't see that USB-C connector until I had it open, but the more I fiddle around with it, the more I think the fault might actually just be with the USB connector. You know? So, for those who weren't here earlier on, shame on you. Fail call, hello there. But for those who weren't here earlier, I'm just going to grab my little container, where it is. There it is. Up there, on the, up there, down there. You're not up there, I'm down there. And we're going to put that there. Oh, Jesus. Is that meant to be like that? Yeah, we'll just assume it is. Okay, here's the USB-C connector. Now I have a PowerPC 2200 with an LC580 board in it. Well, yeah, I mean, they'll all work. They're all interchangeable, those ones. It's not like the Classic and the LC475. Once they went up to that 580 connector, which is the same as the 630 and many of the other slide-out boards, yeah, they're all swappable. Okay, now this connector here, that looks fine. I don't see anything that looks burned out or anything like that. Mind you, we will look at that connector on the board, because, this is the one. But this is the stuff. This is the stuff that dreams are made out of. Look at that. Look at how scungy that is. See, maybe that is the cause, maybe that is the root of all evil. Oh my goodness, Jay finally makes it. What on earth? Okay, so this is an iPad Pro 11. So it's the 11-inch iPad Pro. And it is Series 3, I believe. See, that's definitely showing signs of burning. Same on this side. Signs of burning. Burning. Don't forget my number. Okay. I suppose what we could do is we could check if we get in continuity between all the pins and this connector. I'll get my multimeter. There we go. Qwertee's KM601 digital multimeter. Links in the description. We're going to go here to, what do we got? We want here to continuity beepity beep 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 mode. Continuity. Respect my continuity. Piece off. Jeez, these are... I need pointier. I need way pointier than this. This is not pointy enough. I'm really struggling to get these to do what I want. Where are my other pointy ones? I've got pointy ones somewhere. Pointy ones. A pointy birds. A pointy. Anoint my head. Anointy. There you go. These ones are pointier, I think. Sorry, I'm all caught up here. All caught up. Here we go. Okay. Now we go back to beepity beep mode on this one. These ones are a little sharper, so I'm hoping these might make it a little bit easier for me. Okay. Carbon track short. Respect mode. You should install a new FPU while you're in there. What? Channeling Eric Cartman, definitely. I was thinking of one of the Macintosh 2s that the House of Moth put an FPU into, not the LC475. That would be the LC3. LC3 had the option for an optional FPU. Okay, we've got some continuity of that pin. Yep, that pin. Yep. This is the one that was burned. Yep. Yep. Yeah, so the LC2 had the pads. It had essentially the framework. You know, it was built so that you could have an FPU added, but Apple cheaped out and didn't stick a socket in there. You can add a socket, solder a socket in, and then stick an FPU in it if you want. That's in the LC2, but they didn't want to give that to you as an option because it's sort of like, you know, LC2 is a budget machine. We don't want you to have the option to put an FPU there. Whereas the LC3, when that came out, LC3 is a pretty good machine actually. I like the fact the LC3 has the higher RAM ceiling than the LC2. So with the LC3 you can stick, what was it, 36? It might even be 64 megs of RAM in it, something like that. So the LC3 is kind of good, but it is still an 030 CPU. But it is, yeah, it's that's the one that has the FPU. So yeah, not the 475. But you were thinking it was in a 475 case. Is that still the situation there, Dana? These are referring back to discussions that we've had on our little chats that we have. We have chats for specific interests. We have a specific beige chat. And the beige chat is where Dana and Steve and I get together and chat about beige computers. Jay's not part of that because Jay's not interested in beige. Right. So just going to have a little recap here. First of all, first thing I'd like to say is pulling these things apart is a freaking nightmare. I don't recommend it to anyone. If someone asks you to do it, just tell them to piss off. If you have one and you decide that, yes, you know what, I think I might want to give it a try myself, which is fine. If it's your own, that's fine. I'd still recommend don't do it. But if you end up not listening to my recommendation, everything's sort of glued in that, so it's a real bugger getting everything out. But once you then do get it out, I'm looking at this board, and it would take an awful lot of liquid to end up getting water onto this board. There was indication of there being some liquid on the shielding on the outside, but zero indication of water actually getting inside this. We did have evidence of there being water on the USB-C connector, which we were just looking at. Now, that could have created a short, which then blew something up. And that, whatever it blew up, might be completely invisible to us. I mean, we could be looking at a component here which is fried. You know, this guy here, right here. I don't know what it is. Right there. I don't know what it is, but it could be fried for all we know. Because of what, you know, of a short. Or there could be a fuse in here somewhere that's blown. I wouldn't be able to see the frickin' thing because there's all this crappy metal stuff all over the place. I mean, there could be a fuse on here or something for all we know, but I don't even know what's under there. Why would they put shielding on that? I don't know. And the sorts of things they put shielding on like this normally, they're on stuff where there's like, I don't know, Wi-Fi or some crap underneath it. Thermal cam trick. Oh, God, yeah, but you know what that's going to be like? I mean, by the time I put all this together, I'm certainly not putting it together today. I can tell you that straight off the bat right now. See, I don't even know. I mean, normally I would know what a fuse looks like. They have a particular look about them. But all the components in these things are so tiny, maybe they're using different fuses. Nope. I am going to have to stop live streaming in a moment anyway, so. I'll rename this live stream to Don't Open iPads. Everything just looks fine. There's nothing, there's no indication here of any liquid damage whatsoever. Because a lot of these things end up using, like, self-repairing fuses as well. Oh. All right. What am I going to do? What's what? I was going to put all these things away because I am not going to continue work on this day. I have had enough of this iPad, and ultimately the next thing I need to really do is kind of put it back together again, and get that USB socket and sort of fiddle around and see if I'm if I can get it to start, whether it's just an issue, something to do with that. I mean, when I plugged in a USB-C connector, it did draw power. So, yeah, I don't know. And of course, that was the other thing on this. Let me just, where's that go to? Recap a classic next. Yeah, I would love to, but I've actually got stuff to do. It's New Year's Eve. I've got to get things ready for sort of celebration and joy and happiness and fun and laughter. Having fun time. Yay. Wee. Oh crap, I can't be yawning already. I've got to stay up until friggin' midnight. I don't know, I'm so confused. How's everyone else? Ba 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 ba, baby. Don't forget my number. Ba 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 ba, baby. Yeah, the funny thing is that I've actually heard one of the Milli Vanilli guys sing, and he's actually got a pretty decent voice. And if you ask me which one I've heard sing, it's the live one. There is, because one of the Milli Vanilli guys is in a state of unalive. Putting this board back in, what a nightmare. Almost 8:45 p.m. on the 30th here. Oh yeah, a Quadro 840A, these are piece of piss compared to this. This is awful. Awful. Just awful. Just making sure all of my connectors are up on the right side of the board and nothing's sort of trapped underneath. Because once you start putting these things back together, if you've got a cable trapped underneath, it is a friggin' nightmare. Yeah. Friggin' nightmare. Yeah. Like that. And like that. That's got to be up on the other side. Come on. Here we go. Should have tested to see if the battery had any juice in it while I had the thing off. Should have done that, should have done that. Awful. Okay, repairability score. Not giving you one. That was awful. Repairability score -4. Right. Okay. Well, I think it is round about time for me to do the normal goodbyesies type thing. Let me just do this. Yeah, I've got more people watching now than when I started. I was actually very tempted to sort of do a I don't know, work on a blue SCSI or well, I've got a couple of things to work on at the moment. Yeah, I've got to the point now. It's 3:45. I've really got other things to do, so I'm sorry about that, everyone. I'm sorry for everyone that just starting to be getting into it and then I go and leave. Sorry about that. Okay, so just a little recap here. The iPad, absolute nightmare to pull apart. Crack the screen in the process. Here is the screen here. Cracks up there. It goes sort of like... oh, hang on. I'm not top view, am There's that screen there, and the crack goes basically down here, around here, a little swirly bit, and then comes up, back up there. Like that. I have been informed by people on this stream that you can, or possibly can, replace the glass. But that means you have to take this digitizer off. And so you've got to remove this digitizer from the glass and then put the digitizer onto a new glass. And that sounds like a real bugger of a job to me. But it may come to that, because if I can get this thing working, that's probably what's going to happen next. Yeah, horrible job. The frustrating thing about it, as I said, is that by the time I got to the end of the screen removal, I was really getting quite proficient at it. And I devised, I figured out a way when I got my scalpel and I dipped it in isopropyl alcohol and then put it in there, and it served two purposes. It was, reducing the stickiness of the adhesive, and it was, cutting it as well. So that was working really, really well. I would definitely do that again next time. The biggest problem was, of course, going around the corners. But I did get good at that. I cracked it on one corner, but the other three corners I had no issue with at all. So definitely would be better at that in the future. There is definitely evidence of there being liquid damage inside around the battery and on the shielding, and certainly on the USB-C connector as well. But there is no evidence on the logic board whatsoever. So if something has died on that logic board, it's not giving itself up. It's not actually saying, hey, look at me, I'm fried. And that makes life very, very difficult. It could be something as simple as a fuse connected to the USB socket, something like that. Or it could be a fuse somewhere else on there. I'm really not sure. The next step is I'm going to reassemble it, and I am going to just connect it up to power and try and do a few little experimentationals. I was hesitant to connect it up to power before because, if you've got liquid in there, that can actually make things worse. But now that I've opened it up and seen that there's no liquid inside there, it's all dried out, that I would actually like to give it another try with some power and have a little bit of a fiddle and just go through things like factory resets and all that sort of crap. Pressing the buttons down and all that. So anyhow, that's the plan for that. I do have some more live streams coming. I've got some more of these soldering kits coming. I've got some really fun kits. I'm doing the next one is going to be a digital oscilloscope kit. I have also got my wacky glasses, which I'll go put my wacky glasses on now. I'll be doing this kit. I'll be doing my wacky glasses kit, so you got to look out for that. I'm going to be doing, I've got a kit which is a piano, a little digital piano. It has little drum sounds and everything, I think, so that could be fun. What else have I got? No, I do have some more, but anyhow, I can't remember what they are. Oh, I've got a Tesla coil, so I'm going to be doing that. Oh yes, just a reminder to everyone, if you haven't already, would it be too much to ask for you to
smash that like button?
Yeah. So, most importantly, everyone, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that we didn't really get anything finalised, but at the end of the day, that was, what was it, like hour and a half or 2 hours for me just getting that glass off and getting the logic board out. It's just the disassembly process on that is incredibly time consuming. They did say 2 to 4 hours on that thing, and I think it probably took me close to 2 hours, I would say. So, everyone who has joined, thank you very much. Obviously, Happy New Year to everyone. For us, we've only got, 8. We've only got 8 hours, 8 and a bit hours left of the year. So, Happy New Year to everyone. For the people whose Happy New Year is tomorrow night, I hope you have a wonderful time. As I say, this is the last live stream for me for 2023, but I will be back with plenty more in 2024. Thank you all for keeping the chat lively and keeping me company while I pulled apart this outrageous machine. And I hope to see you in 2024. Have a wonderful time, people. Remember, if you're going to be drinking, drink in moderation. Sounds so funny coming from me, doesn't it? Okay, have a good one, and I will look for the end stream. I will say thank you, everyone, and bye-bye.